In my last episode, go check it out if you haven't seen it, I ended the video with saying leave a comment if you wanted to see another 100 days. There was only one comment, however I was gonna do it anyways. So here's that, another 100 days in the most limited Terraria skyblock map possible. And like Terrablock, I had to kill the wall of flesh before I killed Skeletron. This was because in hard mode, the traveling merchant could give me the Sergeant United shield. We'll talk about it later, but you will see why it's pretty necessary. So on day 102, I decided to get the ocean pylon. This will help me more quickly get to the end of the wall of flesh bridge. And on day 103, I got to the edge of the world. And eventually I fully finished it. But there were two things I needed, those being the demon scythe and ninja armor. On day 105, I got the demon scythe, but ninja armor was going to be a different story. Not only do I have to wait for another slime rain, but because I killed the king slime, it was going to take 2 times as long. So I was getting ready to wait for a very long time. However, surprisingly, on day 107, I got the slime rain. Statistically, there was a really low chance that a slime rain was even going to occur in the next 100 days. But either way, I went to kill the king slime. All I needed from him was the ninja pants. This would give me the full set of ninja armor. But unfortunately, I didn't get it. But I had a trick up my sleeve. But because the chances of getting the next slime raid is so low, I thought it would be fine to re-roll the drops. So I pressed Alt F4 so the player wouldn't save, and reopened the bag. And this time I did get what I was looking for. And for those of you who are saying this is cheating, a slime raid never happened after this, so I would never get the ninja armor. Though why did I even need the ninja armor? Well, besides it being one of 2 armor sets I can get, the set bonus gives me 20% increased movement speed. When the wall of flesh has low health, it can move at 41 miles per hour. This is faster than I can move, so I would need every movement speed bonus I could get. So when I thought I was ready, I spawned the wall of flesh. Then I realized I was forgetting my potion. Without the swiftness potion and a food item, I wasn't going to be able to move fast enough. But surely this wouldn't happen again. So I spawned him a second time, and same situation. So like the king slime, 3rd time's a charm. And this time I did actually remember to bring the potion, and I was able to kill it without taking any damage. So now that I'm in hard mode, I went to the cavern layer to farm enemies. There were a couple things I was looking for, those being the marrow and the mimic drops. And on day 112, I got the wizard to spawn. I completely forgot about him, but now I have him. But alongside the drops I was looking for, I could also get the mech boss spawners. So on day 113, I got the destroyer spawner. This would be the only one I ever get, but that's fine. Another thing I could get while in hard mode is the moon charm. So when it was a full moon, I started farming for wolves. By this point, I had a couple hard mode weapons which helped me kill them. But unfortunately, I never got what I was looking for. But why do I need these accessories? Well, to make any sort of progression, I need to kill Skeletron. Skeletron, although before Wall of Flesh in progression, was going to be harder in this world. Because I couldn't get any better armor than what I had to rely on good accessories. And most of the best accessories I can get come from mimics. Along with that, the moon charm and an emblem from the Wall of Flesh would be very helpful. But back when I opened the Wall of Flesh bag, the emblem I got was a summoning one. This isn't very helpful if you want to use melee. So I had to farm the Wall of Flesh for a better emblem. After killing it a couple more times, I did get the emblem. Originally I wanted a ranger emblem, however I never ended up needing it. Not that I got one though, but after farming mimics I eventually got what I was looking for. But now that I have all the accessories, I needed to create the arena. But because this is expert mode, Skeletron shoots skulls which can 2-shot me, so I needed to find an easy way to dodge them. But then I remembered in Terrablock there was an easy way I can do this. I can utilize the Wall of Flesh bridge so that he can't shoot the skulls. But the tricky part is how do I kill his hand? Unlike Terrablock, I don't have 4 other people that can kill the hands for me. So I had to come up with a new way of doing it. The easiest way I could find was utilize the speed that I fall to dodge the hands, where I could then use the shield from the traveling merchant to hit the hands and do damage. But I couldn't just fall straight down. I needed to move side to side so the hands wouldn't hit me. So I had to create a massive arena so that I could do this. So as you can see, this is what I did. So on day 132, after 3 hours of placing platforms and dying, I eventually finished the arena. I will spend a total of 30 seconds here and then never touch it again. So after a little bit more preparation, on day 134, I gave it my first attempt. Unfortunately, after all this, I placed the platforms too close and thus I killed the hands too quickly. The idea was that I could kill the hands as I'm entering the Wall of Flesh bridge. But on the next day, I gave it a second attempt and this time it was better. Along with killing it, I also got Chippy's couch. So eventually I opened the bag and I got nothing useful. There was nothing I needed from Skeletron, but it was what Skeletron can bring that I needed. The Dryad was now able to spawn, allowing me to get jungle grass. And of all the things I can now get, the Uzi is what I most needed. So after some testing, I figured out that the Uzi with some explosive bullets could do a decent amount of damage to the destroyer. So on day 137, I got my first jungle grass. At this point, I've been playing the game for almost 54 hours, and I only just got grass. This is by far the hardest challenge that I've attempted in skyblock map that I have seen. But anyways, I eventually got my first trapper. Little did I know this process was going to take a very long time. Because there was only 2 possible blocks for them to spawn on, the spawn rates were extremely low. What I did not realize that it was going to be about 10 trappers per hour. The drop rate for the Uzi is a 1% chance, meaning I would have to kill 100 trappers. This would take 10 hours, and unfortunately I never got the Uzi. But while I was farming on day 142, I got a mechanical skull. This would be about the only useful thing that I got out of this. And after a long time of farming on day 151, which is over 60 hours of playing, I did not get the Uzi. I got a trapper banner though, meaning I was halfway to getting the Uzi. And after 5 more hours of farming, I finally got it. Not the Uzi though, I got a second banner unfortunately. At this point I was going insane. I had spent 11 hours farming for the single item. And after 4 more hours of farming, I was done. I had killed almost 150 trappers with no result. But while testing, I accidentally found an easier way to kill the destroyer. All I would need was a Nimbus rod, so that I got. And then I created the arena, if you can call it that. So simply having this set up, platforms are not necessary, I could easily kill the destroyer without taking any damage. But what about the probes? As you can see, because the Nimbus rod does not do any knockback, the probes can easily be killed. So with this simple setup and some magic accessories on day 175, I killed the destroyer, and then eventually I got the treasure back. And when I opened it, I pressed Alt F4, because I wanted wings. In my video explaining this world, I said that there was no way to get wings. I was wrong. There were actually a couple ways, those being the wings from the dev sets, the jetpack from the steampunker, and the wings from Mothron. I couldn't get the wings from Mothron, and I completely forgot about the jetpack from the steampunker, so I reloaded the world and tried to get the dev wings. It was a 1 in 16 chance, but eventually I got it. Now with wings I have better mobility and I don't take fall damage. But on the next morning the steampunker arrived. With the steampunker I was now able to get the corruption. All I needed to do was wait for a solar eclipse, or farm for a blood moon, but I wasn't gonna farm for that again. The reason why I needed the corruption was so that I could get the ancient shadow armor, although unfortunately as it is a very rare drop and I needed 3 of them, and corruptors spawn even more than Eater of Souls, I figured that this armor would be a waste of time. And not only that, but this armor isn't actually much better. I was hoping that it would give me more than 20% increased speed, but it doesn't, meaning the ninja armor was better in my case. Sure, the shadow armor gives me extra defense, but if I'm one shot to anything anyways, it doesn't really matter. But I didn't know this, so I spent a long time waiting for the solar eclipse. So while doing that, I farmed for the Uzi, but inevitably never got one. And while doing that, apparently the party girl came. I never saw the text, but apparently she was here. I eventually decided to move down to my underground farm for higher spawn rates, because I now needed to farm for a mechanical eye. I'd found a way to get only one of the 2 twins to spawn, but that's a topic for the next episode. But while farming for it, on day 198, I got a solar eclipse to happen, and the party allowed me to get a piece of cake. There was nothing I really needed from the solar eclipse, however I was now able to buy purple solution from the steampunker. This would allow me to get the corruption, although like I said before, it's not very useful. And right after this, I got a mechanical eye, and now with my new strategy, I was able to kill it pretty easily. But I didn't feel like it. There was only one night until the 200 days were over, and because I didn't want to cram it in and I wanted content for the next episode, I decided to hold it off. And now the 200 days are over. I spent a total of 80 hours in this world, and for reference, it took me 78 hours to beat the game in master mode for the worthy. And in this world, I had only killed 1 mechanical boss, but I am on track to killing the second one. But what about a third one? Skeletron Prime is the hardest out of the 3 bosses. Due to its AI, I'm not sure if there's an easy way to cheese it. Maybe I can do the same thing that I did for Skeletron, but I don't think I will be able to kill its hands before I get down to the underworld. If you have any ideas, be sure to leave it in the comments or join the Discord server in the description down below. As of right now, I think I found a way of killing it, but I don't know if it will work. But either way, that's it for this video, and thanks for watching.